pocket my stuff under your arm, like in your space. No, yes.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Public Education for the City of Savannah and County of Chatham on this Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. I will ask our board secretary if the meeting was posted. She assures me it was. If we would all please stand for the national anthem.
Actually, Emily's coming. Oh, we're going out front this time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the long-awaited, delayed board meeting. We are a portion, about a fourth of the performing arts teachers at Savannah-Chatham County. We represent the music, theater, and dance departments. There are about 100 of us total, but we had 3 reasons that our choir's a little smaller. The first reason is named Debbie. The second one, is named Helene, and the third one is Milton. So. But we have some of the most wonderful teachers and singers up here. We all value your support of the arts more than we can say, and we are grateful for this opportunity to perform the national anthem to start your board meeting today.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, thanks. Great job, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great job, thanks. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for our music teachers. Yes, Dr. Ringman.
Yeah, we're all mentioning little whispers here and there. For the people in the audience, the people watching, that third or so of our district staff that stood before you and sang that moving rendition isn't paid for by your state. Okay, isn't. Our state does not value arts in QBE. The way that we fund those positions is through your local tax dollars. So please remember that. We support the arts. Thank you, district, for supporting the arts, because the arts support our children, and children that find a love in those classes do better in all of their other classes. So again, thank you to all of them, but thank you to the district for making that a priority. Glad to be on a board that also values that and ensures that our schools have the arts. Thank you.
Okay, I'll have a motion to. You just totally threw us off here. Motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as posted or modified.
I second.
All in favor? Okay. All right. Okay, let me get all my papers and. We have our announcements. This evening, there is a garden walls restoration dedication at the Massey Center. That's at 6 p.m. Friday, students are really going to hate this. No school. That is is a staff planning day. Monday, students, wow, no school. That is part of fall break. Next week, October 15th through the 18th is Literacy Week. Wednesday, October 16th is the Professional Senate meeting at Jenkins High School. Wednesday, October 23rd is Capital Improvement Meeting with public feedback session at 9 a.m. here in Whitney. And Mr. Katchmeyer, would you like to say anything else about that meeting?
In addition to normal informational update, we'll also be accepting public feedback on our current policies related to LMWBE procurement and the district's other procurement practices.
Wonderful. So that is exactly what I wanted, and that is open to the public, so please attend. Audit committee meeting is October 24th at 8 a.m. Saturday, October 19th is the Parent University Literacy Day Fest, and that is at the Davis Edwards Harris Learning Center. And that's from 9:30 a.m. till 1 p.m. October 28th is a parent meeting at Schumann Elementary School, and that is 6 p.m. And October 31st, we will have a board workshop on East Plus 5. I think that's all of them. Good. We have, we have one remembrance, Cynthia Banta. Sorry. West Chatham Middle School. She was a teacher. And we have a student. Oswaldo Reyes at Durin Middle School. If we could all stand for a moment of silence. Okay, now we will have our superintendent's report.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity to recognize our September Student of the Month. Our Student of the Month for September is a 4th grade student who attends Gould Elementary School. His nominator said, earning straight A's through hard work and determination, his growth in both reading and math have been really impressive. He also has excelled in science, where his inquisitive mind has driven him to explore concepts beyond the curriculum, and in social studies, where his understanding of history and current events has deepened significantly. His commitment to learning and consistent effort have truly paid off, making this particular student a standout in every way. We couldn't be prouder of his achievements. Our scholar is an outstanding student in his community. His inquisitive nature and eagerness to learn make him a standout in the classroom as well. Always ready with a thoughtful question and a genuine interest in expanding his knowledge, he is a model of curiosity and engagement. His love for discovering and understanding the world around him is what drives his continuous effort and achievement in school. He also consistently follows directions. He sets a positive example for his peers, and this particular student embodies the qualities of a good citizen. In addition to that, he also has perfect attendance. When asked what motivates him to strive for success, our student answered, "I just like to learn new things, new and interesting things." Please help me in congratulating this month's Student of the Month for September 2024, Mr. Stephen Garcia. Stephen, please stand.
That's all right. How do I, the bag? Hold on, baby.
So excited to shake his hand, I forgot to give him his gift.
That's a lot to carry.
Stephen,
Got it?
Good work.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Stephen, please stay standing, and we'd love for your parents to also join you as well as your nominator, because it takes a village, and I think everything that I was able to read about our Student of the Month is a testament to great parenting. We would also like to recognize our parents of Stephen Garcia. Thank you for all you do to support your child and our district as a whole. As we congratulate our Student of the Month, I'll just acknowledge that he will be taking home several gifts from our sponsors, including Members First Credit Union, Advertising Specialties, Georgia Southern University, Gulfstream, and more. In addition, Victor and his ELA class will receive copies of his favorite book, Investigators, by John Patrick Green, which was donated by our sponsor, East Shaver Bookseller. Again, congratulations to Stephen, his family, and the Gould Gator family, and a special thank you to his nominator, Ms. Shauna Farley, and the principal, Michelle Carthen. Thank you. And I would like to hand over my portion of the superintendent's report now to our professional Senate representatives for their monthly report.
Thank you. The Professional Senate meeting was held on September 18th at Jenkins High School. The first topic that we had was a Senate project introduction. We are focused on providing rich educational experiences for our students. Everything we do comes from a place of how to best serve students in our schools. Prior to the meeting, teachers and staff were asked to survey their schools for best practices and topics of concern. We then discussed these topics in breakout sessions. organized by school grade levels of elementary, middle, K through 8, and high school. The first breakout session, the first topic was best practices. And the first topic was utilizing apps that streamline processes such as Pick My Kid and Magic Schools. The second topic was a topic of concern. Firstly, compensation to classified staff who fill in to sub when students are absent or take additional duties beyond the scope of their job description. Secondly, lesson planning time. There's not enough independent planning time, especially at elementary and K through 8 level. Thirdly, school safety improvements, for example, additional keypads and card scanners. We then moved on to the superintendent's focus. The superintendent, Dr. Watts, shared 3 big school-level focus areas for discussion: increasing student attendance, increasing the number of students proficient in reading, and improving culture and climate. Teacher and staff were asked to discuss a stop, start, and continue list to break out discussions to generate ideas. The first topic was best practices for their student attendance discussions. Some of the best practices, Garden City uses a monthly attendance party for the students, as well as perfect attendance parties for the class. Jacob G. Smith does incentives for the parents, as well as drawings for grocery and gas card for those parents. Secondly, we did START. That would be holding parents accountable rather than focusing on student accountability for their student attendance. Ensuring parents and guardians' contact information is up to date in PowerSchool, as well as investigating strengthening seat time requirements for students to graduate. And then for the STOP, we have changing the curriculum every 2 years. And we continue daily attendance calls, follow-up with parents, and awards for good attendance. Kurt Hediger reviewed the truancy policy regarding 10-plus days of unexcused absences. Dr. Watts shared that the state looks at the student attendance, absences, CCRPI. Less than 10% of absences of school days enrolled, such as 18 out of 180 days, excused or unexcused, is counted. Mr. Derek Butler presented an additional opportunity for students to be counted present when unable to attend school, up to 5 days of C-coded absences for students online if they are able to complete work at home. This would alleviate the attendance issue from a district standpoint. This would be capped at up to 5 days. It is not designated as a choice option to avoid in-person learning, but provides families a more flexible schedule when illness or conflict arises. One concern was the online learning is not ideal for elementary students. The topic was brought to a vote to gain feedback from Mr. Kurt Hediger using C-code absences for up to 5 days, specifically at the middle and high school levels. It was supported by both teachers and staff at our Senate meeting. In closing, the next Senate meeting will be held Wednesday, October 16th from 4:15 to 5:15 at Jenkins High School. All board members are invited to attend the meeting. The Senate meeting minutes have been posted to the board docs for anyone who seeks to read them in full. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that report. We will now move into the good news report for this month. And there are certainly many causes for applause. First, I'd like to acknowledge that we are sending hats off to the Mediation Center for an outstanding Peace in the Park event on September 22nd. The day honored those taking action to co-create a healthier, conflict-resilient community. We are so proud of our scholars Patrick Finnegan from Charles Ellis Montessori and Leah Spann from Savannah Early College for being selected as youth peace builders. And we are equally proud of our own board member, Dr. Dion Hoskins Brown, for being selected as the elected official peace builder of the year. Thank you to all the teachers, students, and staff who participated in the Hispanic Heritage Parade on September 21st. It was a beautiful day to celebrate our community with wonderful music, food, and family. We want to thank the Metropolitan Savannah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and everyone who contributed to the festivities. We'd like to also offer a special thanks to our friends from the Migrant Equity Southeast Committee for being a valued community partner and for raising awareness for Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you also to our community partners, Inspire EDU and the Live Oak Public Library for their support of our first Community Family Learning Workshops, organized in part by the District Outreach and Engagement Team. Inspire EDU is a nonprofit organization who aims to serve low and moderate income families in Georgia through digital skills training and workshops and device distribution. Through this event, about 60 families in our district took home a laptop and they received important training on using PowerSchool and other district engagement tools. Thanks to all who made this a successful parent engagement event. It is time to make a little music. The Little Star Foundation donated 210 band in a box kits to our school system last week. This 10-piece musical instrument set has everything a preschooler would need to begin exploring music. This set included a tambourine, cymbals, tone blocks, and a triangle. This collection of unique wooden musical instruments for kids is a great way to spark a lifelong love of music. Thank you to Ms. Achenbach, Performing Arts Specialist for the district, and to Tommy Holland of the Little Star Foundation. The Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce and Visit Savannah partnered with Mayor Van Johnson and the City of Savannah to celebrate Savannah 912 Day, to celebrate our Savannah pride. The celebration included an essay competition for local school students using this prompt: tell us why you love Savannah and the 912 area. The winners were announced at the Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo, where fourth grader Kyra Johnson from Pulaski K-8 and fifth grader Charlie Poss from Savannah Classical Academy were announced for their winning essays. Congratulations to those students. Georgia Southern University honored 7 Savannah-Chatham County Public School System teachers for being selected as grant recipients in the Extra Yard for Teachers grant project. Congratulations to Keisha Davis at Woodville Tompkins, Stephanie Glover at Marsh Point, Jordan Holmes at Windsor Forest, Samuel Sachs at New Hampstead K-8, Sarah Hamilton at Charles Ellis Montessori, Leah Hicks at White Bluff Elementary, Deborah Jones at Islands High School. Each of these teachers received a $250 grant for their classroom, as well as 2 complimentary tickets to the Georgia Southern football game against South Carolina. Also, extending a congratulations to Hubert Middle School teacher Melanie West, who was selected by the National Council of Teachers and the Georgia Council of Teachers of English as a national recipient of the 2024 High School Teacher of Excellence Award. This award honors and celebrates exemplary high school classroom teachers who demonstrate excellent practices and contributions in the classroom. Ms. West will be recognized during the 2024 NCTE Annual Convention in Boston, Massachusetts in November. Kudos to Ms. West. The Golden Radish Award has been given to Georgia school districts for the best practices in farm-to-school programs. This award is presented by the Georgia Department of Education, Georgia Department of Agriculture, Georgia Department of Public Health, and the UGA Cooperative Extension, and the Georgia Organics. This prestigious award highlights the school nutrition programs who integrate fresh, local produce into school meals while also enriching school nutrition through farm-fresh vegetables and fruits at both breakfast and lunch. The Golden Radish Award also sets a standard for nutritional innovation in educational settings nationwide. We are proud to announce that our very own school nutrition department is a Golden Radish Award winner and will be recognized at the Godot Directors Conference later this month. So congratulations to that department. And as a final acknowledgement, we'd like to acknowledge Board President Mr. Roger Moss, who was selected as an AV Dreamer Success Community Hero. We are very proud to acknowledge and celebrate that as well. And that concludes my report for this month.
Mr. Hediger.
Thank you, sir. As we move on your agenda, we do have, there we go, item 6.01 on your board matters. We have a number of policies to review. This is Board Policy GAE, Complaints and Grievances. You'll notice that there are no changes to the regulation in this particular policy that we worked on. We did see the changes recommended on the regulation side. A couple of minor tweaks, though, on the policy, just to be very clear, but no substance changes on the policy, no meaning changes, but just minor grammatical tweaks on it. The focus was really on the regulation, and this is where we cleaned up the process to be much more clear about the process on complaints and grievances. And the key thing is, again, this is classified employees. We've eliminated the employee's immediate supervisor as a first level of review on this appeal. So again, only changes to the administrative regulation, no board action other than to bring it to you for your review and feedback.
Thank you.
Moving on your agenda, hearing no comments. The next item for the board's review, item 6.02. This is Board Policy GBE, Professional Personnel Assignments. This is a mid-period review coming to you for the board. No changes on the policy. This is only on the regulation language, and you'll note fairly minor changes here. Again, it's cleanup language for improved consistency and clarity, and also new titles had to be changed in this particular language section. So once again, no action of the board, bringing it to you for your review and feedback. Subject to that feedback, the four-year policy or the review period for this one will be considered complete.
Yes, I'm sorry. Ms. Grabowski.
I did have a question under the Roman numeral 3 for the transfers. The beginning sentence of that section states seniority shall be determined. The seniority is used and it lists the order of the groups, and then you keep reading and it says in determining seniority of certified employees, and number 1 is performance, and then it goes into contractual length and dates and so forth. So am I reading this correctly, that performance is the number 1 criteria in making those reassignments followed, or that is the highest weighted criteria along with their time? You see the section?
Yes, you're looking at the
Regulation.
Yeah, so performance is one component that is stipulated in code. We can't change that, but to your query about the weighted components as we have it in numeric order, we'll certainly defer to our Chief of Talent and HR. The seniority obviously is a big piece of this as well that remains, because that refers to those who have been around the longest. Obviously, they are senior. They have a level of seniority, but those performance components are a part that is considered in this. Now, as far as a weighting element, to defer that further to Mr. Ray.
This is actually following Georgia law, and what we were trying to do was make an adjustment here, because the difference in the RIF policy and then this transfer policy. I think we need to go back and look at it, Ms. Grabowski.
Okay.
So let us look at that again, because I see what you're saying related to this. But it is in Georgia law, but it's really, we're trying to separate the transfer side versus the RIF side. If there's another policy that we have that has RIF that has the same language in it. So
Okay.
let me go make sure we clarify that.
And to be clear, I hope that we are considering performance in this evaluation. But it's a little misleading because the opening sentence states that seniority shall be determined, which to most people, I think means simply seniority, but then you have to keep reading to see the performance. So I just think this section could use some clarity around it. That'd be great. Thank you.
I agree.
Okay, appreciate it.
Very good. We'll go back and look at that closer for improved language and make modifications necessary to address that concern. Moving on, item 6.03. This is your board policy that stipulates how medication is managed in our school nurse offices. So a lot of red here in the regulation, as you'll see. This is no changes to the policy. So again, we're asking the boards for review on this on the administrative regulations side. No action required. But this one, you'll note, the thing that really kicked us off on medication is there's new state statute that requires Narcan in spaces in our schools. So we have that. That box has been checked. But in going through this, we did a very comprehensive review with a team of school nurses who gave us great feedback on current practices and actions and things that are happening. And we really felt that we needed to just kind of start over. Much of the language wasn't completely scrapped, but it was written in a way that what sequentially made sense better in the way we organized it in the regulation and how we addressed things like how medication is managed, how it is administered, and how the records of medication are also managed. So again, this is all a regulation change for the board's review. Subject to the board's comments or feedback, we'd consider this one complete under the 4-year review policy structure.
Dr. Bringman.
Thank you for this extensive regulation. Could I get a definition on trained personnel? So we start with all school nurses, and I know that I'll get on that soapbox in a second, but do we have a definition for trained personnel? Do we have how they are trained? Or is this just when a school nurse is not there, we select somebody and that is now our trained personnel to administer meds? That might be how it happens in practice. So I would like some clarification on trained personnel so that staff member isn't asked last minute to do it and they aren't comfortable because they haven't gone through the training.
Right. So what's important is you see really one of the big reasons we changed, there were all the changes here, because you keep adding different medications and different things. Every legislative session, there's something new, whether it's the Narcan or the glucagon or the asthma or the EpiPen or the, so just to give you a big picture, this is really Cobb County's policy that we lifted and tweaked. They did the heavy lifting here, and we thought it was a really good one, so we modeled it after them. But to answer your specific question, training, it depends on the particular thing that is being done. So for instance, seizure action plan, we're doing the training for that. Diabetes, there's a particular training for that, where the EpiPen, there may not be the training for that, but they are able to. So it can depend on the particular law that's in place as to whether the medication can be used. But we have specific training pieces in place that meet the requirements for the appropriate thing, whether it's the diabetes training for the glucagon or for the seizure action plan, whatever it may be.
I'm sure we've got trained. I just want to make sure from a district standpoint, and this is not pointing fingers or anything like that, just on, I'm the teacher, I'm the paraprofessional, the nurse is not there that day, I become the trained personnel. Because I think that's even probably above what the state even says. The state probably just says anybody can, and I'll get to that in a moment. So just want some type of systematic way where we designate or people self-designate, because I'm sure there are some faculty, staff, and I'm thinking that our support person of the year has something because she's been nodding and stuff like that.
Yes, she does.
So go.
Well, firstly, Lisa Wilson does train us all really well, so we all know what we're doing. But legally, in the state of Georgia, we have to have 2 to 3 people that are our backup. And those 2 to 3, you have to, there's no way around it. So those 2 to 3 people have to be trained. So if I'm not there, my UAP is there. Like right now, I'm not there, she's in charge. Also, when she's not there, Mr. Wall's in charge. So our principals always train, not all principals, some principals don't want to be trained, but Mr. Wall is always trained. And we have 2 UAPs usually, and they do get paid. There's a stipend for them to be our backup. So there's 3.
That's at a charter school. Don't get.
Oh, yeah. All the district, all get
Are you
paid.
sure? Okay.
Yeah, that's
they
a
all get
district.
paid.
That's everybody in the district.
Yeah, they get a
Yeah.
Awesome.
They
All
do
the
get a
same.
It's gonna be a follow-up. Yeah.
Yeah, they get a stipend for being our backup. So
Okay.
in the facility, each building has 2 to 3 backups.
Awesome. Thank you for being the resident expert on that. So now I'll get to my soapbox that I already hit on before the meeting even started. The state of Georgia continues to pass legislation for us to be ready to come to the moment's notice when somebody's having a diabetic issue and give them glucagon, or they've taken some meds or somehow been affected by some opioid, and now our trained personnel has to be ready to respond with Narcan because we have to have it in all school settings. So we pass all these lovely laws, and the state still won't fund a nurse for each school. So they want us to play doctor. They want us to pass out meds. They want us to make them look good because they're fighting this crisis or that crisis. But again, every nurse in our district is paid for out of local funding. Hallelujah, we have a district that actually values nurses and tries their hardest to make sure we have a nurse in every school or coverage. So when you vote, just ask your legislation why we keep passing mandates onto school systems that don't have funding to make sure that they actually can be implemented. This is a little one, but it's still more red tape that we have to deal with. And somebody now has to manage making sure that all of those things in schools like Narcan and glucagon are in the right spots, that they're up to date, and that gets really, really time consuming when you've got so many buildings and so many students. And there is no funding to do that. That's just on us to make sure it happens. I'm glad that it doesn't always have to be a trained personnel, okay? That it actually can be a nurse. And if you read the policy, it talks about a lot of things that are really, really nurse specific. That trained personnel, thank you for being one of those individuals willing to do that, have to take on. So just another level of unmandated things that we get to pay for. I guess that's gonna be my theme today.
Okay.
One thing I think it'd be a good thing to do, that we'll do for the board, is we'll provide a list of because there's trainings are specific for different things. So we don't want you to get a sense that the backup piece is for the diabetes piece. It depends. The seizure is a different one. So we will provide you an overview of the trainings that are out there and what we're implementing in order to meet these different requirements, because it depends on the particular thing we're doing.
Thank you.
Okay, your final item today on your policy review is item 6.04. This is policy GAK, personnel records. You will see this is policy revisions, very minor revisions. Again, just some cleanups to the language and updates to current titles for personnel in the school district. No changes on the regulation side. This will come back for a second review and adoption for the board at your November board meeting.
Thank you.
I'm just going to keep going.
Oh, Lord.
By QBE, we are only funded one HR representative for the entire district. So I'm just being cute now.
Well, can I give a clarification, Dr. Brickman? There's actually no HR representative. It's one finance. No HR. No HR.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Now we have a series of proclamations.
Item 6.05, this is your School Bus Safety and Transportation Week proclamation.
The official board proclamation, whereas Savannah-Chatham County Public School bus drivers are a vital part of our public school system, traveling millions of miles, transporting students back and forth from school each and every day. and to school activities sanctioned by the school board. Whereas Savannah-Chatham County Public School transportation employees committed to professional development and training to improve their knowledge and skills to ensure the safety and well-being of our students and the other drivers who are sharing the state roads with the school buses. And whereas drivers, trainers, support staff, dispatchers, and mechanics in the transportation program have compelled and compiled an outstanding safety record in the Savannah-Chatham County Public School area. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Education and the City of Savannah and the County of Chatham does hereby proclaim the week of October 21st through the 25th of 2024 to be observed as School Bus Safety and Transportation Appreciation Week in recognition of the contributions drivers and other school transportation staffs make public education systems effective. And it is fitting that we set aside a special time to commend these dedicated individuals, and we encourage all citizens to recognize school bus drivers and support program staff for their services that they provide. This is signed by the president of the school board, Roger Moss Jr., as well as the superintendent, Dr. Denise Watts.
Yes. I'll accept a motion. Moved and seconded. All in favor? And I think we have some representatives from transportation today.
Thank you, thank you.
Next item on your agenda, item 6.07, Proclamation Custodial Workers Day.
National School Lunch.
No, school lunch.
Miss School Lunch.
Sorry, that is 6.07. Let's go back to 6.06, our proclamation for National School Lunch Week with the award-winning school nutrition program.
We do all like to eat, by the way, so. In recognition of the importance of Savannah-Chatham County Public School System School Nutrition Program and the dedicated employees who work tirelessly to provide healthy meals to the students of our great school system, the following board proclamation is offered. Whereas the National School Lunch Program has served our nation admirably for more than 77 years through advanced practices in nutrition education. And whereas the National School Lunch Program is dedicated to the health and well-being of our nation's children. And whereas the National School Lunch Program has been joined through the years by many other excellent child feeding programs. And there is evidence of continued need for nutrition education and awareness of the value of school nutrition programs. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Public Education for the City of Savannah and the County of Chatham does hereby proclaim the week of October 14th through 18th, 2024 as National School Lunch Week and encourages all residents to become aware of their children's and their own nutrition habits in hope of achieving a more healthy citizenry for today and the future. Signed, Roger Moss Jr., Board President, as Denise Watts, EDD, Superintendent.
I'll accept a motion. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Yes. And I know we have some representatives from, yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. For all you do. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
And now on your board agenda, item 6.07, proclamation Custodial Workers Day.
It is my pleasure and honor to read this proclamation. And isn't October a wonderful month? Every day, every week, we're celebrating folks who mean a lot to us. So National Custodial Workers Day proclamation. This day was October 2nd, 2024. The official proclamation is, whereas public schools are part of this nation's backbone, providing young people with the tools they need to maintain our nation's precious value of freedom, civility, and equality, integral in this education process is the part played by education support professionals. And whereas educational support professionals, who are custodial workers, provide a clean environment for students to learn in, while those in attendance and maintenance departments provide safe surroundings for students and staff alike. And whereas custodial workers operate behind the scenes, we want them to know how appreciated they are for the hard work they do day after day, keeping schools clean and well-maintained. They contribute to the important first impressions and success of the school, as well as contribute to the safe school environment. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Board of Public Education for the City of Savannah and the County of Chatham, do hereby recognize with the rest of the nation October 2nd, 2024 as National Custodial Workers Recognition Day, and encourage all citizens to join us and celebrate their work and daily contributions all through the month of October. Yes. And I believe we have Ms. Ward and Ms. Singleton here.
Yes, I'll accept a motion first. Moved in second. All in favor? Now we have Ms. Ward and Ms. Singleton. Come on down.
You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for everything.
And now item 6.08, the board's proclamation recognizing National School Principals Month.
Great principals produce great teachers, and I, as a former retired teacher, attribute my success to the principals that I had the opportunity to work with. Official board proclamation. The board seeks to pay tribute to all school principals for their noteworthy influence on the success and well-being of our nation's students. Whereas school principals are employed to help students reach their full potential, and whereas school principals are dedicated to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school principals help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth for their children. And whereas school principals collaborate with teachers and other educators to lead our schools and create positive learning communities that help every student discover their full potential and realize their goals. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Public Education for the City of Savannah and County of Chatham does hereby celebrate all school principals, and we ask our entire community to join us in recognizing the month of October 2024 as National School Principals Month. On behalf of the Board of Education and Savannah-Chatham County Public School System, we extend our sincere appreciation for every school principal in our system and across this nation. Signed by our Board President, Roger Moss, and our Superintendent, Dr. Denise Watts.
Accept a motion. Moved and seconded. All in favor? I know we have some school principals here.
Best high school principal of the time.
Ask our charter principals to come up also, our charter school principals.
Yes, charter school principals.
Thanks so much for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Hi, sir. Thank you. How are you? Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you for all you do. Thanks so much.
Thank you for everything.
And finally, item 6.09 is a proclamation by the Board of Public Education proclaiming Literacy Week in Chatham County.
So anyone who has heard Dr. Watts speak or who has been to a board meeting or any event knows that literacy is our North Star. And so in recognition of the importance of literacy and the great value of collective work between teachers, staff, students, families, and the community who seek to ensure every child is powerfully literate and has all the tools needed to succeed and enjoy the benefits of a choice-filled life, the board proclaims October 15th through 19th as Literacy Week in Savannah-Chatham County. Whereas National Literacy Week has been celebrated in the United States since 1998, and whereas literacy provides the path to an exciting journey that inspires knowledge and comprehension, and whereas a well-functioning democracy requires a high level of literacy among its citizens, and whereas ending generational poverty requires a literate workforce, and whereas the goal of the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System is to ensure every student is powerfully literate, and whereas the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System is implementing curricula based on the science of reading to achieve this goal, and whereas achieving this goal requires support from the entire Savannah-Chatham community, therefore be it resolved that we, the Board of Public Education for the City of Savannah and County of Chatham, do hereby proclaim October 15th through 19th, 2024, as Literacy Week and encourage all citizens to join us in celebrating the importance of literacy and to recognize the great work of every teacher, student, parent, and community member who are committed to improving literacy in our schools and our community.
Accept a motion? Moved and seconded, all in favor?
We walk around and shake each other's hands.
We have to have somebody.
Well,
There we go.
oh, we do have someone. Yay! Thank you so much.
That's all you do. Appreciate it.
That concludes our run of proclamations for board matters. We do have an action item for the Board of Public Education under item 6.10. This is a recommendation for the renewal of a charter petition for the Oglethorpe Charter School to be read into record, and subsequent action of the board. Dr. Laura May will hit the podium.
Good afternoon. The Oglethorpe Charter School was founded in 1999 as the first startup public charter middle school in the state of Georgia, serving grades 6 through 8. OCS moved to its current location in 2012 and has served the students, families, and community of the Savannah-Chatham County for 26 years. The charter school is currently in the final school year of its existing contract. In accordance with applicable board deadlines, Oglethorpe Charter School submitted a 5-year renewal application to the superintendent and local board on July 15, 2024. After careful review of the information provided in the application and accompanying exhibits, the SECPSS Charter Review Committee noted several areas that required clarification. Based on the petitioner's response, the committee finds the application is sufficient for recommendation with certain conditions. The following factors were figural in helping us determine the renewal decision. Oglethorpe is the first and oldest public charter school in the state of Georgia. They have stable school leadership and board governance. They have strong parent engagement and community support. They align their curriculum with the Georgia Standards of Excellence, engage in standards-based classroom instruction, and enhanced grade level support. They also showed improvement in student achievement in school year 2024. The following recommendations, though, have been set forward during the deliberations by the committee, and they are intended for the duration of the renewal contract. Oglethorpe Charter School should continue to address learning loss and work towards successfully and consistently meeting all academic performance standards outlined in the charter contract. Particular focus should be placed on the instructional needs of Oglethorpe's evolving student population. Oglethorpe should develop and implement instructional strategies to engage all students in high-quality, rigorous core instruction and employ systematic progress monitoring with standards-aligned formative assessments to assess the effectiveness of instructional practices. Oglethorpe Charter School should develop and implement a comprehensive professional development plan to include a core set of mandatory professional trainings for teachers that are aligned with evidence-based instructional best practices, state-mandated standards, and applicable state laws. Also to include classroom management best practices. Oglethorpe should develop a monthly board training plan for implementation in school year 2025. The board must meet its training requirements for each year of its 5-year renewal period and demonstrate a sustained commitment to representing the socio-demographic diversity of Oglethorpe Charter School. Lastly, a revised strategic plan focused on continuous improvement is strongly recommended for implementation at the start of the renewal period. Strategic priorities should align with the school's mission and educational philosophy. Key performance indicators should reflect a strong commitment to continuous improvement and sustained student growth and achievement. Based on the factors listed, the SECPSS administration supports the 5-year charter renewal, and board action is required at this time. Thus, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the 5-year charter contract renewal with the stated recommendations for Oglethorpe Charter School. The charter contract will conclude on June 30th, 2030.
I'll accept the motion. It's moved and seconded. Discussion. Mr. Johnson.
I do know that that Oglethorpe has been improving a little bit from the previous year. It's not where it was pre-pandemic. It's not where it should be either. So I know Tybee and Savannah Classical have heard me say this once, and I was looking back on my notes, and thankfully I didn't have to do this last time you were up for renewal. I'm going to support this, but this is your one get-out-of-jail-free card from District 7. I know you guys can do better because y'all have done better. But I am thankful that you guys are around and helping our kids where you're able to.
Anyone else? Mr. Kachmar.
I'm pleased to be able to support the recommendation and note that Oglethorpe has a long history of innovating but collaborating with the district as well. The fact that they collaborated on contract renewal and conditions is an example of that. Every school and every charter has ups and downs in terms of performance and leadership, et cetera. And the key issue is they've focused on the right things and righted some wrongs, I guess. Wrongs is too strong a word, I guess. They're heading in the right direction. They've always worked well with us. They're a model of what a charter relationship with a district can be. So I'm happy to support the recommendation.
Dr. Howard Hall.
Yes, Oglethorpe has a very positive aspect regarding the community. all we ever hear about Oglethorpe are great things. They always have a wait list. They have a very strong parental involvement program as well as athletics. They continue to make improvement. You know, not only we can say charter schools, but even our public schools, we struggle at times. Sometimes you're not going to have a great year every year, but I can say that with confidence that Oglethorpe Charter School has done an excellent job with providing the assistance that their students need, their staff, their faculty, as well as the community, and I'm more than enthused and happy to support it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so as you all know, I'm the biggest proponent of charter schools you'll ever meet. I'm also the biggest proponent of accountability. You have not had a good 3 years. And as Mr. Kachmar said, a lot of schools have that. Are there members of your board here? Great.
Shall we invite them forward?
Yes? Yes.
Mr. Wallen.
I'm glad that you agreed to what our staff requested. As a board, you're the ones that hold these guys accountable. The next time you see this downward slide, let's catch it as soon as possible. Yeah, I will vote for this, but I hope this is, and by the way, a lot of charter schools go through this, but this is a wake-up call. You are the first charter, and I know that there are a lot of members on this board that love your school. We want the best for the students at your school and those parents, but just be Mr. Accountability. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and best of luck. Thank you. I'm good. Okay. We're going to vote.
Oh, okay. I'm making sure we thought we were.
So there being no more discussion, all in favor? Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, sir, we have one final item on your Board of Education matters. This is item 6.11. This is a standalone item for a vote on a recommendation that is personnel related. And the reason we're doing it this way is because the individual being recommended is a family member of a board member. Let it be known for the record that Dr. Howard Hall has exited the room for this particular vote. We do have a recommendation for a classified personnel, 200 days grade 5, step 2 position. We are recommending Stardacia Hudson be the media clerk at the Savannah Early College. Recommendation now for the board's action and subsequent approval.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? No. All in favor? Thank you. Dr. Hall, you can come back now.
And back to the board chair for your consent agenda and remainder of the board meeting.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion to accept our consent agenda. Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? Thank you. Next, I will accept. No, we've got to do the minutes first. I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes. Oh, I was in consent. I'm so sorry. Okay. Financials.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The financials that you have been presented with are for the month of August 2024. It's 2 months into this school year. Two general trends occurred throughout August statements, and they're explained. While much of our activities occurred during the summer, the months July and August normally show very little financial activity on the modified accrual basis. Most of the cash received and disbursements made in June and July and August were properly recorded into last year, FY24. Staff identified goods and services that were physically received but not yet paid for as of June 30th. These were recorded by journal entries in FY24 and reversed in FY25. When the invoices are received and paid, those transactions will be recorded in FY25. In a number of cases, the invoice has not yet been received and paid as of August 31st. This may result in a negative expenditure in the actual activity. These negative numbers will resolve themselves over the next few months. In Fund 100, our general fund, except for vehicle taxes, real estate transfer taxes, and ad valorem taxes, local taxes that are collected in July and August are put back into last year because those were taxes for last school year. This results in very little activity in local property tax revenue for the first 2 months of the year. Overall revenue in the general fund is on track for this point of the year. Actual revenues are at 8% of our current modified budget. Salaries and expenditures are recorded when earned, not when paid. This is why actual expenditures in teachers and paraprofessionals are very low. Only a small percentage of the employees in these categories work in July and August. So overall, our expenditures are at 6.56 of our current modified budget for August. You have any questions on our numbers?
So we do have someone here to speak on financials. Mr. Lawless?
Speak now or in comment?
You can speak now because it's subject related.
Okay. Thank you. So I was in the finance meeting this morning, spirited conversation. I saw some spirited conversation in the informal meeting. Charters came up. And so what I wanted to speak about is what the position of the district's in financially. Like you said earlier, the fund balance is healthy. SPLOST is healthy. Financially, the district has touched almost 50 some odd sites with SPLOST. Save some charter schools. And so I would just like to bring attention to that and be thinking about that in your financial decisions and you're making those policies and priorities to think about the charter schools and how some of those SPLOST funds can be sent to support us in our capital projects. And I have a handout I'll give you. I don't intend to speak on it, but I'll give it to the board members to pass out and share amongst themselves as to why, like was said earlier, the return on investment with Savannah Classical Academy, we are doing very well academically with students, and we're doing it on less than what other schools are receiving. And so I just wanted to point that out in the financials that SPLOST is tracking to be $500 million over the 5-year period, which will exceed the referendum of $410 million. So I know there's some thoughts happening right now with the new SPLOST coming up that will need to be in place when you reach that referendum cap. So I'd like for again, for charters to be at the table in those discussions for financial priorities.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, I won't be before you long. We have some routine items. The first one, 8.02, facility upgrades, modifications, and equipment, Fund 308, interfund transfer. This is an additional transfer from accumulated vacancies and money that we did not spend in the general fund in FY24 to transfer funds to capital projects to pay for some additional audio enhancements of 8 schools for the FY25 and FY26 projects. Included are Rice Creek, K-8, Heads K-8, New Hampstead High School, White Bluff, Ellis K-8, Savannah High School, Early College, Islands High School, and Johnson High School. The total transfer and budget amendment is $5,098,000. Thus, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the interfund transfer to Fund 308 projects account for audio enhancements to upgrade the intercom, safety communications, and classroom audio visual systems in the amount of $5,098,000.
I'll accept a motion. Moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Ms. Grabowski. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you very much.
The next item, 8.03, FF&E purchases for Henderson E. Formey Jr. Early Learning Center. This is for furniture, fixtures, and equipment to be awarded from bid C1905 annual contract. The funding source is for this project is East Plus. Thus, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the purchase of furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the renovated Henderson E. Formey Jr. Elementary Learning Center using the approved annual contract under bid C19-05, as well as Georgia statewide contracts for an amount not to exceed $941,616.56.
Moved by Mr. Johnson. Second by Dr. Bringman. Any discussion? Let's vote. All in favor? Great.
Yes. And just an announcement for the general public. All of these agenda items were presented to the board previously, and they're posted on board docs, their entire budget documents. I'm just trying to summarize them. The next item, 8.04, design professionals for Georgetown K-8 renovations and addition. At this time, staff is requesting the approval for Cogdell and Madrella PC to proceed with the design services for the Georgetown K-8 renovation and addition project. The construction cost limitation is $22,800,000. The fee for these services is $1,275,000, which includes the design, civil engineering services, landscape architect services, geotechnical investigation services, surveying services, permitting, bidding, and construction administration. The funding source for this project is also East Plus. Thus, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the contract with Cardell and Madrella Architects, PC, for the design services of Georgetown K-8 renovation and addition under RFQ C22-04 at a total design professional fee of $1,275,000.
Moved by Dr. Brinkman, seconded by Dr. Howard Hall. Any discussion? All in favor? Was that everyone? Oh, I'm sorry. Opposed? Abstaining? Okay.
The next item, 8.05, it's just a budget transfer within East Block 4 for the West Chatham Elementary School renovation project, transferring $10,480,000 from unallocated to construction accounts. Thus be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the budget transfer as described.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All in favor? All right. One more. I know.
And the last item.
The last one?
8.06, Georgetown K-8 renovation budget process. To go along with the previous documents, budget transfer from unallocated to construction accounts for the Georgetown K-8 renovation project in the amount of $17,650,000. Thus be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the budget transfer as described.
Moved by Dr. Brinkman, seconded by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Quick question. In our facilities and buildings project, I would like to know, I've seen, since I've been on the board, I've seen a lot of times we may need to add different funds to different projects as the project is going on. My question is, if a bidder or if a construction company says that they need to increase a budget before the project starts, what do we do in a scenario like that?
Before the project actually starts?
Before the project actually starts.
Actually, similar to what we're doing now, we will bring a budget amendment to the board before we award the project.
Okay.
If that's what you're referring to. Before it's awarded, we normally go back and look at the estimates, get with the architects, and take another look at what we think it's going to cost. A lot of these projects were really planned maybe 5 or 6 years ago, so we always have to go back and take another look before we bring the what we think is going to be the true cost or final cost of doing the project.
So if the project has not started, we'll do an amendment, but we would not necessarily open it back up for rebidding. We'll just do an amendment.
We try to do the amendment before we bid if we can determine the cost internally. But if there's something that happens after we bid it, then we get with the design team and we'll decide whether or not we need to put it back on the street, or we will, throughout contract negotiations, agree to a maximum cost, as we call it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Ian, for our appearances today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Mayor, the Honorable Van Johnson.
Mr. President Moss, members of the board, Dr. Watts, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm here for one purpose, but it's actually turned into three. And at first, I thanked President Moss. I want to thank you all. As you all know, 2 times a month, this becomes the headquarters of the Savannah City Council. And we thank you all for that. As you know, our meeting facilities are now well over 115 years old. Every city council has met there since 1906. And she is in need of some real restoration. and it has to be done in a certain way, and it's taking several months to do so. Thank you all on behalf of the City of Savannah for allowing us to use your space. It meets our needs perfectly. Second thing I wanted to do was to thank all of you, and particularly Dr. Watts. You all have a hard job. The reason why I was late was because we had a briefing, a presser about the upcoming Hurricane Milton. And so, as you all know, we really take a lead from what the school system does, because obviously if kids are not in school, then it really affects the choices parents have. And so, Dr. Watts, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for keeping us informed. Again, you're dogged if you do, you're dogged if you don't. If tomorrow is a sunny day, it's all your fault. And if it's a torrential downpour, it's your fault as well. And so it's a very difficult job, but, science is imperfect. We just do the best we can with the information that we have. And the final thing was I wanted to present to you all a proclamation that I made that we presented at City Council last week that proclaimed Literacy Week here in the city of Savannah, Georgia. As you know, literacy fuels everything. A person's ability to be able to survive depends on their ability to be able to read, particularly now. When we're sending out all of these notices and all these advisories, not only from the very smallest ages, but also through adulthood. And so we support you. We recognize that public education is a public responsibility, and we believe that the city of Savannah has a role to play in that. And so on behalf of the mayor of the city of Savannah, I declared, I believe it's November 12th through the 18th? October. Okay, well, the date is wrong, but it's October 12th to 18th as Literacy Week in the city of Savannah, Georgia, and we certainly commit to doing all we can to be a part of this. What you do affects what we do, and so we commit ourselves to being partners to you in that work. Thank you very much. And I'll just take this with me, and I'll get you the right one.
There you go. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. So we have Ms. Edna Buford. She's not here. Okay. Mr. Peter Robine? Nope. Raymond Watson? Nope. And Ms. Angelina Bryant? Nope. All right, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye, we're out of here.